sort of, figures. There was no emotion in them, and it was more about the act and the fact that it was carefully considered in that respect. Whereas I think my approach here, and especially Kubish and Gabčík's characters go, I think you'll see a very real people up there doing extraordinary things, and I think that was what was appealing to me, was to make these characters not like invincible soldiers, because they were normal people like you and me that were put in extraordinary circumstances, and they were given what they believed were orders, and at a time when no one was looking out for them, or looking over them more importantly, they continued to work on these orders, and they went through with the mission and succeeded. And I think what's interesting for me is what does that take for a normal person to actually achieve that result? And so that's been a pleasure to sort of explore in the script emotionally. Yeah. What was the other?
So like, how did you choose
the
actors?
Oh, that one. It was very interesting to try and find two actors that could represent Kubish and Gabčík realistically, and without it sort of turning, like I said, into something that was sort of unrealistic, because I wanted these two men to feel very human. And Cillian Murphy and Jamie Dornan were both actors who I felt had a certain sensibility to bring this emotion to the screen, which would be a sort of everyday person that was given an extraordinary mission. And I thought that in that respect, the combination of both of them I felt was very interesting. The look of both of them, I think, as a combination, I thought worked really well, and the fact that both of them are of the most talented actors in their generation, and together in an exciting story like this, I just really like. I've just gone shopping and got the best ingredients. So I'm ready to go cook it now. So.
Ian.
Got a question for Jamie, please. What was it in particular about the script that caught your imagination, and how do you view what your character did in 1942?
I think first read the script, the fact that I didn't know about the story, I found, as I said before, I found that kind of mad that something could happen that had such a massive knock-on effect to, an entire nation, and to not have known about that, I found kind of mad. The heroism involved, the sacrifice involved, similar to what Sean was saying, that they felt, and Jan, particularly to me, because that's what I was reading for. It felt like someone you could actually relate to, like guys who were fighting for something that they truly believed in, but were guys. They were normal guys. They had family, that were being massively affected by what was happening. You always need a drive in everything you do, and a reason to tell the story. I think as an actor, you've got to have something that drives you every day on set. And I mean, could there be any stronger drive needed than the opportunity to assassinate someone so horrific? I mean, and nobody can. There's nobody in the world who can't see Heydrich as evil. At the time, there were lots of people who didn't see it as evil, but now, so to have that, to bring that to work every day, I'm so excited about the idea of like having that as being your drive. I'm terrified of how I'm going to behave actually now on set, knowing that. What was the second part? Oh, okay. Okay.
Tereza Spáčová, Reflex.
Dobrý den, Spáčová, Reflex. Já bych se ráda zeptala, vy jste známý svou pečlivou přípravou na role, například u Phila Spectra byla poměrně známá historka, jak jste běhal po metru v Londýně, tak by mě zajímalo, co si chystáte pro tuto roli A když už jsem zmínila seriál The Fall, který je tedy v České republice velmi oblíbený, tak jestli můžete říct něco k tomu, co znamená pro vás osobně. Děkuju.
Look, people have different ways and means of actors and getting into the mindset of whoever they're going to play. Sometimes you do things that feel are right to embody a character, and sometimes you push limits, and and everyone has their own approach to it. And it can always be different. The way I prepared to play someone like Spectre in The Fall, you take yourself to dark places and you find out a lot about yourself that maybe you don't always want to find out, and it's quite an interesting process. But for this particular project, I don't think I have to go to those similar kind of places. I think there's things about Jan that will make sense to me more personally than having to really dig too far. He is a man with a mission to carry out, and it's a mission for the right reasons. It's not someone like Spectre who's murdering people for, there's no good reason to murder someone. I mean, there's not. But if you are, no, I was going to say, this is murder in a sense, but it's for a greater good, essentially, and he very much feels like that. Jan and Josef both feel like that, and so that you're driven for different reasons, and I feel that Jan's the closest character I've played to myself, so that means that there's parts of the research that you've done for other characters that don't need to be done, that don't make sense, just as long as you have very strong idea of why they were doing what they're doing and who they are in the situation at the time, I think is enough.
Colin O'Connor, Radio Free Europe.
Hi, I just, when we were talking about The Fall there, the third series is probably one of the most eagerly anticipated